Welcome to Politics Done Right. I am your host, Egberto Willies. This is a progressive program that will take the mystery out of politics. This is the program that will encourage you to make sure government becomes we the people. Whether you are liberal, progressive, conservative, or otherwise, you get to air your point of view. We are an independent media outlet that, unlike mainstream media beholden to corporations, we only owe allegiance to you. Remember, you can also send me a tweet at EGBERTOWILLIES. That is at Egberto Willies. Let us engage. It is Politics Done Right. Well, folks, welcome to one more edition of Politics Done Right. I'm Egberto Willies, your host. Thank you so kindly for being a part of the show. We are going to have a great show for you today. I had a lot doing today. And also, I needed to go ahead and do a quick workout because I have a lot of writing to do today. So I had to get that knocked out. And for all of you that are activists, I want to remind you something. We are out there in the field. We are out there doing a whole lot of things, but we have to somehow find the time to take a little care of body. Over the end of last year, I really let myself go a bit too much doing, and I think I was scared to get on the scale, but I felt like I put on about 15, 17 pounds. So I'm going to work my butt off, eat right for the next month and a half before I see the scale again. What can I say? We got to watch ourselves. If we're going to be activists out there, we have to be ready to go out there and work for the people. Anyway, we have a great show for you today. Just two short clips, but I noticed that our brother Rudnin has quite a few as well. TikToks, I hope those are, well, not I hope. You always bring us good stuff. Anyway, I want to show you a video and also interpret that video together. And if some of you see something that I didn't and want to call in as well, I'd like for you to do so as well. But let's go ahead and first introduce folks that are here early. Welcome aboard Patrick Magner from Houston, Texas. We also have AVQ from Brooklyn, New York. Good morning or good afternoon, sir. We have in the house Eric from Kingwood, Texas. Michael Rudden, Brooklyn, New York. We have Lisa Blair, Atlanta, Georgia. Bruce Pollard, Kingwood, Texas. Lita Bearcat, Austin, Texas. We also have in the chat I think this is Substack. We start that a little bit later. But John Nicolette, Woody Haken, Linda Bordell, Margaret Lopez, Bobby K, welcome aboard. Lottie Snyder Sloan, Bill Gibson, Letha Gay Cook, Gina Baff, Elizabeth. I try to read a few of them up in the beginning of the program because I want to thank you so kindly for being here. We got a lot to talk about. As you remember, folks, we had the first video. The first video, it was evident to all of us. I'm talking about the video of the ICE agent murdering Rene Good. That's who I'm talking about. The first video, we didn't have the sound of Rene. We didn't have the sound of the killer or anything of that nature. We didn't. But it was evident just from seeing the video that was a murder. It was evident. That is something that should not have occurred. That was evident. Now, today, and after that video came out, we saw multiple videos from many other people that the New York Times went frame for frame by frame by frame to show that one, at best, the agent was grazed. Number two, the wheels was turned away, meaning she was never making an attempt to hit the agent. And three, unlike what the Homeland Security woman said, he was not injured. He didn't have to go to the hospital or anything of that nature. In other words, the Trump administration simply lied. The Trump administration and all its ilk simply lied. Now, the vice president released or put on his thing he went ahead and showed the actual image or video from the killer. While the killer was shooting this woman, he was in such fear that he kept the cell phone in position as he was killing. In other words, it wasn't a position where, oh, I'm in danger, drop the cell phone, draw my weapon, shoot. That's not what happened. That's not what happened. But the video is so misogynistic. I'm getting to it in a minute. The video is so misogynistic. The video also shows the kindness of these two women. Call them protesters, call them community organizers, call them as you will. It actually showed their humanity. And you know that we have degeneracy in the White House. When they believed that releasing this video actually showed that, oh, this guy actually shot in self-defense. I'm going to play that video for you as soon as I get it queued up here. I just got through processing it. Forgive me, but there's a lot happening. And again, like I said, I tried to squeeze in a little workout here. All right. I want you to check out this new video. This was just released today. Just released today. But as you watch this video, I ask that you take into account what I just said. Let's get busy and check this out.
There is new video of the moment Renee Nicole Good was shot by an ICE agent in Minneapolis. It is video the agent himself, Jonathan Ross, appears to be recording on his cell phone as it happened. Vice President J.D. Vance just reposted it, claiming it proves Ross was acting in self-defense. We will let you watch it. We will also warn you that it is hard to watch.
I'm not mad at you. Show your face. I'm not mad at you. That's okay. We don't change our plates every morning, just so you know. It'll be the same plate when you come talk to us later. That's fine. U.S. citizen. You want to come at us? You want to come at us? I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Out of the car. Get out of the car. Get out of the car. Whoa! Good.
Many will likely disagree with Vance's conclusion there, as the moment of potential impact was not itself caught on camera, just a noise. They might also note what Good's demeanor was in the moments before the shooting, and also what the agent appeared to say in the aftermath of that shooting.
Now, what did she say? I am not, in her sweet voice, showing that the kind of protesters that she are. I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you. I think the other woman may have been her wife saying, we are not like you guys. You don't have to try to arrest us or anything. Our plates are going to remain the same. The same plates that we have on the car today, we will have on the car tomorrow. That's who we are. We're good people. The woman says, I'm an American citizen. I'm an American citizen. And as she was going back into the car and the lady was turning away to drive off, right? And in the other angles, not in this particular one, the angles that the New York Times was able to do frame by frame, you see she turned to avoid hitting the officer, and the officer actually got into that space to shoot her, right? Now, remember, just before he shot her, she is saying, I am not mad at you. I am not mad at you, Man, I'm not mad at you. In other words, I understand. I get it. You're doing your job. I am doing my job. I am a protester. I am here to protect the immigrants that you guys are really doing harm to. But I'm not mad at you. You're just one of Trump's stooges. That's all you are. I would have said that. She didn't. She was sweet. I'm not mad at you. And as she turns, the thug, the thief, the killer, the murderer, then goes ahead and pop a shot in her, and as she continues to drive off, blows her head off. And what does he say? What does he say to culminate all of this? You effing B. You effing B. And now, here's the funniest part about it. The presidency and all his ilk, from the vice president and everybody else, they believe that by releasing this video, somehow it absolves the killer. But what it actually does is it shows the killer's disdain for humanity of others. She's saying, I am not mad at you. I'm not mad at you. And his response after he shoots her, you effing B. I mean, that 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 the vice president, that JD Vance actually believe that that puts that killer in good light. It is just outright amazing. It shows you how degenerate they are. That masculinity that they're trying to push, that sort of rugged masculinity or whatever the hell you call it, that they're trying to push these days, that somehow that is going to go over well. Well, you know what? I am glad they released it, because I think it further proves that these cowards, exactly right, the duck, coward draft dodger killed her. A coward draft dodger killed her. It proved exactly that. It proves exactly that these guys are simply evil. It's amazing how often I have to use that word when referring to the Trump administration. Before I move on, if anybody want to call in and give me their take, I don't know if you saw it or not. The number is 281-823-7747. Again, that number is 281-823-7747. If anybody is interested in calling in, welcome aboard, Dolly, James Sadden, Laura, Judy. Thank you for being here. Bobby Fern, Bobby Yo, Bob Riegler. Hey, bro, Dr. Thies, how you doing, my man? Are you back in the country, or are you still overseas? If you're still overseas and you have the wherewithal, give me a call. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Brother Ray Brackens, how you doing, sir?
Howdy to you and happy Friday. Well, not so happy Friday, unfortunately, for that
Well,
young
you know
lady
what?
who had her
For that young
life
lady,
stolen away.
right?
But
It's not a happy Friday, but you know what? We are going to make it a Friday of resolved. A Friday of resolve. But continue, brother.
yeah, so I saw that footage. You know, I've been taking care of my dad. He's getting a little older and up
How's
in
your
age,
dad
but
doing?
he's in good spirits. You know, I talked to
Yeah, go ahead. How's your dad doing?
yeah, yeah, he's in good spirits. So you know, I just have to coach him up and push him to get himself back together. I'm sure it's going to be a challenge as it was with you and Ashley. But in any case, I called in about that footage though, and that breaks my heart. Now, when I look at these ICE agents, I'm a fan of 80s and 90s cinema. So what this kind of reminds me of is very reminiscent of exactly one movie, and that movie is RoboCop 3. And if you know anything about RoboCop 3, RoboCop 3 was the amalgamation of the trilogy.
I
in
remember
which
that.
this
Hold on a sec. Ray,
evil
hold on.
company.
Ray, hold on a second. Hey, Patrick, while I have you on hold, could you mute for me? Because I can't mute individually with my system. Continue, Ray.
Yes.
Yeah. So this evil company, you know, that was taking over and privatizing everything, wanted to privatize the city of Detroit, and the final stage was to evict people from their homes with these, I guess you could call them police officers, but they were private cops by the corporation called rehabs, and these rehabs were ruthless. You know, they were mercenaries, in other words. You know, they would drive people out of their homes. They would murder people if needed. I remember the girl who was one of the main characters had found out her parents were murdered. You know, trying to escape a concentration camp for, I guess, poor people because they
Speed her up for me, my brother.
in that area. What'd you say?
No, I'm saying speed her up for me, the story.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is there was a commercial in that movie that glamorized the rehab, and right before they put that commercial, there was a guy who was in the police station. He was a criminal, and the rehab guy asked him, "How would you like to work for us?" And that's basically what the rehabs are. They're thugs, they're criminals that have no morals, and they're being recruited by law enforcement because of that reason. It's a feature, not a defect.
Exactly.
That was where I was going with that.
And let me tell you, you nailed it. Let me tell you a bit more. They have $100 million advertising campaign going on right now. And they're going in areas for gun shows and all these areas where all these rejects hang out. That's what they're trying to do. And a lot of these people that are going, they are reducing the standards. They're doing a whole lot to get these people in because good people, moral people don't want that job. They definitely don't want that job. But Ray, let me bring Patrick into the conversation. You can hang there for me, and if you think of anything else, come on in, Patrick. But you nailed it. But before Patrick says anything, I want to point out to Vicky that Vicky says, and I want to read what Vicky said because it's important, and that is a narrative that we have to fix. Vicky said that is a narrative the vice president would hope come out of this. It said it does look like she tapped him because he was standing in her way. She was for sure turning away. Another angle I saw showed her possibly bumping him, but obviously not really hurting him. Let me tell you, have you ever driven your car and you are driving and somebody run immediately into your path? I want you to watch that officer with the cell phone was first confronting her wife as she was going into the car. And as she was going into the car, Rene was moving to the right. And he was walking away from the wife and put himself in the path of the car. So it's the chicken and the egg. He put himself in that position, and she, if you're playing basketball, who holds the position first is how it goes. Who holds that position first? They want you to believe that, yes, she did touch him. She absolutely touched him. But he went into her path after running across from talking to her wife. Come on in, Patrick.
Hi. Hey, good afternoon. Hopefully the rain's not too bad. You touched a little bit on what I wanted to say. You were soliciting feedback on the video and everything. If I told you, or if I asked you what mass times acceleration equals, what would you tell me?
Mass time acceleration is force.
Yes, sir. She had the mass, but she had no acceleration.
No acceleration, exactly.
And then, so that's not something that he should have been afraid of. And also, they teach police officers, and I guess they're not training on ICE, but they teach police officers how to avoid injury because the state has to pay for it.
Exactly. Exactly. Look, the woman did nothing wrong. The officer did everything wrong. And that they're trying to rehabilitate him is what is the problem. And it actually shows that we have an impartial executive right now, which means we all have to be on our toes. I am so happy that we have all these different camera angles. But the other part, Patrick, is what I wanted to point out. And that is they released the video with sound. And what the sound showed was a nice young woman that passively says, "I'm not mad at you," and an evil killer who then pump 3 bullets into her. And after doing that, after pumping bullets into this woman, he then says, "You effing B." How do they think that somehow exonerates that cop? Tell me, Patrick, am I
Oh, it
seeing
does.
something wrong?
It doesn't at all, and I shared that article with you about the $100 million solicitation for ICE, and no, they would not be going to gun shows if they weren't interested in people that were excited to use a gun.
Exactly. Exactly. I
They're
mean,
they're intending this to happen,
exactly.
and they also probably want us to hate police right now, and they want us to turn on all this, and we shouldn't. That was one individual, and so we still need to have respect for law enforcement and everything. Just be very careful,
you
but
know,
don't
the
let this
thing about
turn us against each other.
the thing about it is that is exactly what I really enjoyed about the mayor's conference. He told everybody, let's not become them. Let's be peaceful. Let's show love. Let's be peaceful and use your cameras. And that's the best thing, right? Disinfectant is the best thing to expose these animals. Disinfectant is absolutely the best thing because we use disinfectant to get rid of the microbes and to get rid of the bacteria, to get rid of the viruses. The telephone will become our disinfectant. Anything else you want to say, Patrick, before I jump to Ray and then move on with the show?
Yes, but it's off topic.
Go ahead, real quick.
Okay, as far as Venezuela goes, what I'm hearing over and over
Okay,
is
let me stop you.
that we did the right
Let
thing.
me let me stop you.
Okay.
Venezuela is not off topic. In fact, after I leave here, that's where we're going. So tell me what you got to tell me.
Okay, a lot of people are justifying the fact that some Venezuelans, and you pointed out that it's the rich class, are happy about this. But I try and remind people that the first week or two after the fall of Saddam, Iraq was the same way. But a month or two later, our soldiers were being killed by roadside bombs because they realized what we were doing.
Oh yeah,
And we're doing
absolutely.
the same thing in Venezuela.
Hey, I am from Latin America, brother. I understand what's going on. Guess who's preparing right now? I can guarantee you the gorillas in Colombia, the gorillas in Bolivia, the gorillas in Peru, all these places. Oh, they're itching for a scratch. They're itching for a scratch. So, you nailed it. All right, thank you, Patrick. Ray, before I go, anything else you want to add, my brother?
Oh yeah, I mean, basically, when that video ended and he said, effing B, what he didn't say was that'll teach you to be disrespectful to me. And that's the narrative they want to put out there, that, you better respect us. You better shut your mouth or else,
Exactly.
basically.
Exactly. But you know what is so funny, Ray, is by him doing what he did, and even just saying that. It's not even that he said that. Is that the Trump administration thought it was beneficial to release that video with that sound. I would have been, I would, even if they wanted to release the video and let's say released it without sound, but they released it with the sound. It shows you where their misogyny is. It shows you where their humanity is. So anyway, thank you guys. Appreciate you calling in. Great to hear from both of you, my brothers. All right.
Appreciate the time, brother.
Take care now. All right. Patrick spoke about Venezuela and about the look. I have a lot of Venezuelan friends, okay? And they are mad at me. A lot of them are mad at me. You know, one of my Venezuelan friends, he came here, a businessman, opened up a coffee shop. He actually, in the beginning, was kind of pleasant toward Hugo Chavez because Hugo Chavez actually had a reason for existence of what the plutocracy had done to that country for a long time. That country has never been a country on the right. In fact, Carlos Andres Perez, which was one of their big presidents that occupied their yellow house twice, is the one who actually nationalized the oil industry. It was not Hugo Chavez that nationalized the interest. It was Carlos Andres Perez. I spoke to you all about that many a times, right? But anyhow, it turns out that a lot of my Venezuelan friends, just like Patrick said, they are happy. They are liberated. The bus driver is gone. Remember, the president of Venezuela was a bus driver. You cannot miss many of the class and race connotations that's happening right now in Venezuela. In fact, I'm still processing an interview with a professor that I did in Caracas, Venezuela, where she points out that right now in Venezuela, the vice president is being ridiculed for her looks. You see, the vice president, which is a very smart woman, doctorate from France and all these other places, they can't attack her credentials, the current vice president, that is, Delcy Rodriguez. So what they do is they attack her looks. She's too dark. She's ugly. All these things are saying in the media in Caracas, Venezuela. So the truth of the matter is, um, the plutocracy created what occurred in Venezuela, and the demise of the Bolivarian Revolution is mostly at the behest of the United States. But let me just play, and this senator isn't some lefty like I am or some super progressive like I am, but he reads the tea leaves just fine. This is what he thinks about what Donald Trump is doing.
Let's talk about Venezuela. Yesterday, Senator Chris Murphy was on with my colleague Chris Jansing, and here is what he said the administration plans to do in that country.
What the administration is talking about doing is taking Venezuela's oil at gunpoint, selling it on the open market, and then using that money as leverage to micromanage the country of Venezuela. Venezuela is an enormous, very complicated, very dangerous country, and the Trump administration is literally planning to run the country from the White House.
Today, senators narrowly advanced a war powers resolution to limit President Trump's power to take further military action in Venezuela. However, like the similar resolutions that came before it, this effort has a slim chance of succeeding, at least as of now, in the long run. Rep. Adam Smith said it could actually happen.
I don't know. I will have to see it to believe it that it will happen. But as you can see, here is a senator. No great progressive or anything like that, but who also thinks or points out a reality, and that is that we are just there to take their oil at gunpoint. And it's not a conjecture. We've already done it. We've taken. I know that two of the tankers, at least two of the tankers that they've taken, I think is filled with oil. The other one I know doesn't have any oil in it because you see how high up in the ocean it is. You can see the water line about, I don't know, 40, 50 feet above. So that one is decidedly empty. But that's what we're doing. We went into Venezuela, kidnapped their president, right? As we took their oil and as we murdered many drug capitalists. You know, I make fun. I call the boats that they have that supposedly are carrying drugs nothing more than capitalists. Because here's the deal: if there was no market, there those boats wouldn't be out there. Look, I want to ask all of you something, right? They are purportedly, and we'll get back officially to Venezuela in a minute, but this always irks me. We want to spend billions of dollars of your money. I repeat, we want to spend billions of dollars of your money purportedly to keep an armada in the Caribbean to blow up boats that are bringing a product to America, albeit an illegal product that in America, but to bring that product to America because Americans want that product. So instead of working with Americans who are the ones effecting the importation of these products, we go out all the way down south to Venezuela, purportedly to blow crap out of the waters to stop this product from going to America. The thing about it is, Trump and all these guys purport themselves to be capitalists, right? What they don't tell you is, well, wait a minute. If we are blowing up the supply down there, the supplies coming from everywhere else comes into America at a higher price. And if it comes in at a higher price, given that these people are addicted to these drugs, what do you think is going to happen in the United States of America? If the price goes up and the druggie cannot afford it on what they're doing, they're going to steal, rob, and kill to pay the higher price. These guys, you know, when Trump and these guys prevent you from thinking, when they prevent you from critically thinking, right? And not going one step, two steps, three steps, four steps, five steps. When you can't think from different levels of indirections, you make stupid choices. But we know now that it's not about the drugs because they don't care about the drugs. The people on fentanyl, the people on coke, these are people that are hurting, right? If you go into Appalachia and you see the state of living in Appalachia, I wonder why these people are engulfing themselves in fentanyl and beer and wine and coke and marijuana and all of that because they're in pain caused by our economic system. That's why they're doing what they're doing. They're in pain. And you know what? Instead of spending $40 billion to send to Argentina, instead of spending $1 billion in a few months to keep an armada in the Caribbean, instead of spending all those billions on the missiles that are blowing stuff up, imagine what it would be like if we went into Appalachia, if we went into all these places where these drugs are, and give these people hope. Give these people the ability to say, government can work for me. Instead of blowing stuff up, we're going to do stuff to help you. We are going to, look, let me tell you, I never forgot this. Driving, you know, there are times that you go out there and you drive around. First of all, my daughter, when she was in med school, she was driving around Ohio and West Virginia, and she couldn't believe the depravity, she couldn't believe the poverty, she couldn't believe how people live out there. And you know what? It's not the people that you normally think in that condition, right? And she called home in shock. In shock. Couldn't believe people lived like this. Couldn't believe it. But that's how they live. And she said, man, why isn't anybody doing anything to help these people? You know, why aren't somebody? We always have money to buy the bombs. We had money to completely decimate Gaza. We blew Gaza, E2247. I'm going to be glad I'm talking about this now too. We had all the money necessary to level Gaza. You know how much money we spent in bombs to level Gaza and kill all those people? Not a problem. We never have a problem finding money there. We didn't have a problem finding $40 billion for Argentina. We didn't have a problem finding a billion and change to put the Armada in the Caribbean. We didn't. So look, as far as Venezuela is concerned, for all my friends that every time I talk about Venezuela want to wring my neck because they believe the same propaganda here in the United States. They believe the same propaganda here in the United States. Let's talk about reality here. We are suffering here in the United States because our economic system now, believe it or not, is becoming Venezuela. Venezuela has always had a K economy. Even when Venezuela was doing well, Venezuela had a K economy. And everybody knows what a K economy is. If you know what a K economy is, say yes in the chat, in both chats. If you don't know what it is, say no. Let me know if I have to explain K economies and all that kind of stuff so that you can see where I'm going from here. But Venezuela has always had a K economy. Okay? The K economy means the very few at the top continue to do very well, and everybody else on the bottom, their true line is down. K for going up, true line, the K part for going down. Okay? Venezuela has always been like that. So Venezuela at one time had the semblance of prosperity. So when you hear the American government talk about before Hugo Chavez, Venezuela was a prosperous country and you had the freeways and the buildings and all of that was true. But it just happened to cover a few people. It only happened to cover those with the right connections. All right? Even after, and that is because the riches of that state went directly to the plutocracy and to the wards of the plutocracy and to those who helped the plutocracy. That's who made the money, right? Even as Venezuela per capita is likely richer than America per capita. Now, because remember, they have the fifth largest reserve of gold, they have the largest reserve of oil, they have, and we can go on and on, they have rare earths, they have all these things, natural resources. It's like Africa. Folks in Africa should be rich. But we have the colonists that come extract and then give them back to them as raw, as a processed material. But anyhow, going back to stay on land. So now, when there had to be Hugo Chavez. There simply had to be a Hugo Chavez. Hugo Chavez came and said, wait a minute, we have all this oil in the ground, we have all this gold, we have all of this. Why are our people poor? And he said, yeah, we are going to further the nationalization of our resources. Those contracts those beneficial contracts to American companies and all other companies had to go. Because you were simply raping this country. That's what these contracts did. We had Venezuelan plutocracy signing away the country to make a profit for themselves. So he got rid of all of that. So that pissed him off. The TV stations the private news stations were against them. The stores did all kinds of things. Slow down production. They wanted to make him fail. And eventually he said, oh, you're going to try to make me fail? You're going to stop producing? We'll nationalize your company. If you want to cripple our economy, every company that tries to cripple our economy, we nationalize. We believe in free enterprise. We believe in democracy. But if you are going to use free enterprise to cripple the country, will nationalize you. And oh, America screams, that's not capitalism. No, it's not. Capitalism doesn't work. And America is finding that out now. The K economy is by design. The K economy is by design, and we are getting there now. We are becoming Hugo Chavez. I mean, not Hugo Chavez. We are becoming Venezuela at this point in time. What's his name? What's the president of Venezuela? Anyway, we are becoming Venezuela now because all the factors that occurred to make Venezuela the K economy is exploding here in the United States. Let me give a perfect example. We have a lot of natural resources as well in America. A lot. Oil, everything. But where does all of that profit goes? The oil companies does something good for all of us, right? It gives you employment. But employment is one thing, right? While you can do the work, bingo, we give you the job. When you can't work, bye-bye. And then there's no social services, right? But if all the oil that these oil companies were pumping, if the royalties, etc., were shared as they should, when you drill in Colorado, when you drill in Dakota, North and South Dakota, when you drill in all these places, if you actually distributed the wealth of the country, that oil don't belong to the oil company. That oil belongs to all of us. It's America. If those royalties went not 12.5% or 25%, but most of it after the companies recover drilling costs, etc., should be going into the coffers of the United States of America. If that were the case, we wouldn't get a K economy. We get a K economy because all the riches go to the top. And because the rest is just employment and what's left, you get the bottom stick of the K. Now, if that money instead was placed back into the people, if you got sick and got laid off, you're taken care of because again, what society is supposed to be all about. If you can work, you work. If you can't work, you get care. You get care. If you can work and simply don't want to work, there's something called a basic income that just makes sure you don't die. It's called humanity. It's called humanity. But folks like to think that magically speaking, this capitalist system that only cares about capital works. But we know it doesn't. You know how many people are going to die this year because they cannot afford health care? You know how many people are going to die this year because they don't have housing? You know how many people are going to die this year because they have to work an inordinate amount of hours just to survive? Do you know? Again, people always say if we become a democratic socialist state, we're going to be Venezuela. Nope, nope, nope. What we are doing is what Venezuela did. Okay? For all those years that Venezuela had a semblance of prosperity, they were just doing what we do. Now, when Hugo Chavez came in, he broke the back of poverty. He established a whole lot of folks that were able to start their mini businesses and all that. I mean, before America came and through those sanctions and through those boycotts and through those not only boycotts but blockades, etc., it was doing just fine. Okay, so it is amazing that what you're saying here. Now, here's the thing, people, and this is important. Here's the thing. We have to first change our mindset. We have to first change our mindset into believing what our worth is. And I wrote a paper about 12 years ago on that. A couple of papers, actually, about 3 papers on that. Because from the time we were born in this country, we were given marching orders. And those marching orders was that we were not enough. The plutocracy, that is who we looked up at. This is how things worked. We have to change that belief. That belief was always a lie. Everything that we learned about how an economic system work or should function, all of that was a lie. I mean, earlier this morning, I should have turned that into a tape. I mean, I should have cut it and put it out there. Uju called into the show this morning, and Uju made a great commentary about the fallacy of working to get ahead in America, and how that was a lie and always has been a lie. Actually, after the show, I'm going to go cut that out and put that on and turn that one into a blog as well. It's all about what we want to do and how we get there. And Venezuela, for all of those who are looking at Venezuela as, oh, Venezuela is a basket case. Venezuela is a basket case of our creation, and it's simply our future. The thing about it is, too often, because of who control the media, our future will not be advertised. Our future would not be advertised. All right. I have some good info. We have what's his name? Mamdani already got one of his promises nearly fulfilled. Governor Hutchin, governor of New York, found a few $1 billion to fulfill Mamdani's promise of childcare for 100,000 kids. Think about that. And you know why she found that money? Do you know why she found that money? She found that money because of the victory that Mamdani had, the popular victory. The victory that he had came from voters that hadn't voted before, came from a new block of voters. So she wants to show, when her election comes along, that she will be able to perform. That's what she wants to do. And this applies to all of us for the bigger picture coming in this year in November. Don't fall for the okey doke. Oh, we got to find a more conservative Democrat to run. Oh, we got to find the more proper Democrat to run. Go all out. I don't care what district you're in. Go into a district that's going to come out and tell folks, we are going to do what you have asked us to do. You are going to get health care. You are going to get child care. You are going to get family leave. You are going to get this. And you know who's going to pay for it? We're going to make sure as soon as we can and able to pass the laws that the people who have been ripping us off cold, that the depletion allowance that oil companies have gotten, they pay royalties and take it back in the form of depletion allowances. All these people that have been ripping us off for ages, they'll pay. But it's all up to you. It's all up to you. So brothers and sisters, we've got mucho trabajo para hacer. Tenemos mucho trabajo que tenemos que hacer. Got a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. But we're going to get the work done. All right. Is Rudden still here? Michael Rudden, are you still here? I need to play one of your videos. To be honest with you, it kind of slipped that, he had all these videos that he wanted to play. Let's go ahead and get busy on playing your videos. I hope you're still around. They won't. Let's go ahead and play that. That looks like it's going to be a good one. All right, Radnin, here comes your video. Let's see if I can put it onto the screen. There we go. Here we go.
Senator to try to subpoena all the information related to the absolute murder and execution of Renee Nicole Good, and they voted it down. Republicans fucking voted it down unanimously. Massive protests are gathering in Minneapolis, and I'm going. I am going to drive myself there. If any of my mutuals are going, pick me up. Let's carpool, but we're all going. We're all going, because this ends now. Right? They executed a mother in her own fucking driveway and are trying to spin this shit and say that it was justified. Because everyone, every judge, every fucking attorney, everybody on the left, even regular conservatives are saying that was a fucking murder. And if it's not, they don't know what it is. But MAGA's trying to spin this shit. When he fired the first shot, his feet were planted clearly to the left of the vehicle. And he had to chase her fucking down. He chased her down and then walked away and drove away. So this shit starts tonight. And it doesn't fucking end until it ends. That motherfucker's going to prison and ICE is getting fucking abolished. It either happens right now. We either do it right now or it never fucking happens. So join me in Minneapolis. Minneapolis. Or if you can't, your local downtown.
It's big. Tomorrow is a protest out here as well. I'm going to be out there. All right, let's see the other one, how that goes.
Critical. We understand what happened in Minneapolis today and how it connects to what Trump is trying to do. First, I watched every video multiple times, and it is abundantly clear the victim of today's ICE shooting, 37-year-old woman and U.S. citizen, clearly backed up, turned her wheels, and tried to pull forward to get away when the ICE agent shot her through the windshield and killed her on the spot. The New York Times also published a photo of the vehicle, and there's a single hole in the windshield directly in front of the driver. There is no lying about what happened here. And yet, Kristi Noem has the nerve to call it an act of domestic terrorism, despite the fact that this woman was not a target of immigration enforcement, but instead who worst case scenario was trying to impede enforcement, which yes could have potentially been a crime, but she was trying to turn and get away. Regardless of whether her actions were a crime, so was shooting a fleeing suspect, unless there's reason to believe the person fleeing poses an imminent physical threat, which to me explains this series of events perfectly. Because first they told her to get out of the vehicle. When she refused and tried to get away, it was the officer standing directly in front of the vehicle who chose to first open fire and then step out of the way, instead of simply moving. And after he stepped out of the way, he stood there clearly uninjured and unfazed as he watched the vehicle he just fired into point blank accelerate and careen into a tree. With plain video evidence of the entire exchange, there will be justice here. Jacob Frey, the recently re-elected mayor of Minneapolis, told ICE to get the fuck out of his city. And Governor Walz called the DHS explanation of events bullshit propaganda. And this is where the Trump angle comes in. Because Governor Walz also brilliantly began the process of activating the National Guard, specifically to keep it out of Trump's hands. Because it was widely reported after the George Floyd protests, Trump regretted not invoking the Insurrection Act. So with Governor Walz taking steps to activate the National Guard, he's both guaranteeing he's going to keep the people of Minneapolis safe, while at the exact same time ensuring we don't lose the thread. And right now, this is the thread. This is a battle Trump is losing badly. It's the whole reason he gave up the fight with blue states and chose to pivot to overseas intervention. He's already posted twice about Venezuela since this tragedy today. He knows that Americans hate this shit. We hate how he treats immigrants, and we hate his vile mass deportations. And today, our hatred is validated. But we also have to remember that hate and violence accomplish nothing on their own. So I'm asking you to take this rage, take this open wound that they inflicted on the country today, and instead of trying to heal it or distract from it by adding tragedy to tragedy, protest loudly, peacefully, and legally, and allow the open wound to sit in the lap of his presidency and fester. So that when our time comes, and it will come, we have the chance to defund ICE, to shut down his agenda, and to build a better future where this shit isn't happening every goddamn day. We are the ones in power, not him.
We are the ones in power, not him. I love that. Now, here is the last one that I'm going to play. This one looks like it's interesting.
Like a Nazi. Border Patrol agents, they hunt human beings, and that's just the fact.
This is Jen Budd, a former senior Border Patrol agent. For years, she was stationed in this mountainous region along the U.S.-Mexico border, capturing migrants who had just crossed.
Border Patrol has always been a racist institution. It's so steeped in racism and white supremacy and rape culture and brutality. If you train Border Patrol agents to see migrants as humans, then they would not be able to arrest the families. And they would not be able to put them in these small cells. You have to see yourself as different. Whether they're alive or dead, we call them bodies. We don't call them people. We don't call them human beings. And the people that are crossing this border are tonks. They're less than.
What is a tonk?
It's the sound that the flashlight makes when a Border Patrol agent hits them in the head with their flashlight.
That's terminology that Border Patrol uses?
Absolutely, 100%.
Do you think you partook in dehumanizing migrants?
Certainly I did. I mean, absolutely I did. I need to stand up and I need to be on the right side of history.
That is great. Well, I do believe in atonement. I believe in atonement, and I think going out there and telling what these folks have done is, in fact, a form of atonement. All right, folks, I am out of. You have her book. Jane V said I have her book. That's great. That is great. Let's see what else we've got. I've got about 3 minutes. Anybody else want to call in to close this baby out? 281-823-7747. 281-823-7747. I'll probably be doing for our paid subscribers a little something on Sunday. We'll probably have a special Substack chat for paid subscribers on Sunday. I haven't done one in a while, so please forgive me, guys. Again, like I said, there's so much that's happening right now. It's really, but again, a lot of work that we have to get done, but it's work that must be done. Give me a call, 281-823-7747. Again, that number is 281-823-7747. Time for a few minutes on a call. Una vez más lo voy a repetir. One more time, I'm going to say it, 281-823-7747. Si hay alguien que quiere hablar en español o llamar, no sabe cómo hablar en inglés, lo que sea, podemos hablar también. Anyway, that number is 281-823-7747. All right, folks, we're close to the end of the show. As I normally always do at the end of the show, I ask you, there we go. Welcome aboard. Who I have the honor of speaking with?
Hi, my name is Cindy.
Hi, Cindy. How you doing?
Good, good. Am I actually getting through to you?
Of course you're getting through to me.
Well, thank you so much. I love listening to you early in the morning and late in the afternoon.
We try, my dear, beautiful lady. We try. So what's up?
So I just want to share a feeling that I have. I know, as you have mentioned, there's so much going on. I work in the field of nonprofit supporting people with intellectual disabilities, and I'm also a parent of an adult with an intellectual disability, and there is so much growing fear in this community about the future safety of these people. And I just want to bring that to the forefront to let people know that there are so many that are fearful right now.
You know, that I've heard that so many times, and it is dehumanizing what these folks are doing. And to think this is a party that has always spoke about humanity and love and all these other issues, morality and all of that. And this is what they're doing to our fellow human beings. It is shameful. And you know what? There's going to be hell to pay. Cindy, your thoughts?
I'm less concerned about the hell to pay and more about the safety of the people who need safety. And yesterday, when our vice president shared that ICE agents will soon be going door to door to root out immigrants, I fear they will also be potentially rooting out anyone that they deem other. And that is absolutely terrifying.
Let me tell you, I know that feeling. You know, I'm a naturalized United States citizen, and even that is now gonna be ultimately suspect. So
yes,
you're absolutely right. But what there's one thing that I have to tell, and that is we shouldn't fear. We should be engaged. The fact that we know what they're doing, I am so proud of the Whistle Brigade. I'm so proud of what these people are doing throughout America in all these towns. You see how Minneapolis is coming together. Renee is our martyr now. She, a
yes,
very nice young woman. She's our martyr, and what she says now, her death. And I don't, she was not a willful martyr, but she's a martyr. What her death says right now, Cindy, is we never ever give up. They hope that it is fear that's going to stop us. We never ever give up. I get a lot of calls every day, including from activists, and they say, "What are we going to do?" And I say, "We simply do what we are doing. We keep the pressure on." And I am here talking, right? I make sure as well to go out there in the field. I am there as well when I can with our protesters because we all have to be engaged in doing this. Close her out for me, Cindy.
yeah, I think I echo your statements and I say let's take care of each other. Let's take care of our neighbors. let's just have a heart and, be kind and support each other in these difficult circumstances.
And you know what, Cindy? It doesn't take all that much to just love, does it? It's so much harder to hate. It is so much harder to hate. It is so much harder to hate.
Exactly. It takes so much more effort. Yes. Yes. Well, thank you for taking my
thank you very
call.
much.
Thanks for all that you're doing. Thank you. All right.
You
Bye-bye.
have a wonderful weekend. Thank you very much, Cindy. Anyway, folks, we are at the end of the show. I really enjoyed that call with Cindy. Please consider becoming a paid supporter of our newsletter. That is how we fund what we're doing. And how can you do that? You can do that by if you're on Substack, just click on the subscribe button and become a paid subscriber. Otherwise, you can go to politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. That is politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. You have a wonderful weekend. I will be doing some stuff on the weekend. I'll probably release a few more blogs this weekend and some videos, including the one with the professor. But please hang in there. As Cindy said, if we hang together and take care of each other, we will be just fine. Love you all. My name is Egberto Willies. This is Politics Done Right. And you guys know how I end this baby. I am what? Welcome to Politics Done Right. I am your host, Egberto Willies. This is a progressive program that will take the mystery out of politics. This is the program that will encourage you to make sure government becomes we the people. Whether you are liberal, progressive, conservative, or otherwise, you get to air your point of view. We are an independent media outlet that, unlike mainstream media beholden to corporations, we only owe allegiance to you. Remember, you can also send me a tweet at EGBERTOWILLIES. That is at Egberto Willies. Let us engage. It is Politics Done Right.